To escape from prison, the man tied a thin thread to a medicine bottle. The other end of the thread was tied to his tooth. Then, he hid the medicine bottle inside his mouth. This way, he could avoid being discovered by the prison guards. Next, he dismantled a lighter and took out the flint inside. He hid the flint in the crevice under his thumbnail. He then tested it to ensure it could still produce sparks. Back in his cell, he tied his right wrist using a shoelace. He pressed his thumb against the table. Without applying pressure from his legs, he dislocated his thumb in an instant. Jack did all this in preparation for his escape plan, because the next day, the FBI was going to send him to the hospital to forcibly perform a bone marrow transplant on him. Jack was strongly opposed to this. It was also a perfect opportunity to escape. Before entering the hospital, the FBI had a police dog sniff Jack to check if he was carrying any contraband, to prevent the hidden items from being discovered. Jack directly scared the police dog away. In this way, he successfully entered the hospital. He was strapped to the operating table by the FBI. At that moment, the doctor injected the anesthetic into his body. Then, the medicine Jack had hidden in his mouth started to take effect. He bit through the glass vial and swallowed the liquid. This drug neutralized the anesthetic in his body, allowing him to remain conscious. Jack pretended to fall asleep. Once the doctor let down his guard, Jack slowly adjusted his dislocated thumb. This allowed him to free his hand from the restraints. While the doctor wasn't paying attention, Jack broke free immediately. He quickly unplugged the acetylene tube. Using the flint hidden under his nail, he struck a spark and ignited it. He sprayed flames toward the FBI agents rushing in, preventing them from entering the operating room. Jack seized the chance to run out from the back door of the surgery room. He grabbed the defibrillator paddles nearby and climbed into the clothing conveyor tunnel. Using the paddles as support, he effectively slowed his descent. He slid along the tunnel and reached the laundry room. By this time, the hospital had already been locked down. In the laundry room, Jack put on a doctor's outfit and disguised himself as a doctor. To escape smoothly, he used to card his cover and headed to the radiology department. There, he used a laser gun from the hospital to cut open his shackles. Then, Jack ran with the acetylene tank to the power room. He sprayed acetylene into every corner of the power room. At that moment, the FBI spotted Jack and told him to raise his hands and walk out slowly. What they didn't expect was that Jack threw down a fire source while they were distracted. In an instant, the acetylene exploded. The power room of the hospital was blown up, causing a complete power outage. The surveillance system was temporarily down. Taking advantage of this, Jack covered the spikes with canvas. He climbed over the anti-theft fence and entered the adjacent building. He successfully broke through the FBI's blockade. Then, using an axe, he smashed a large hole in the wall. Jack quickly crawled into the sewer through the hole. He opened another manhole and climbed out from the sewer. Jack successfully escaped from prison.